Today is February 28th, 2023, and I want to talk about Bob Dylan's Changing of the Guards. I'll read it first, and like other Dylan songs, other songs in general, I mean, it's a puzzle. 16 years, 16 banners united over the field, where the good shepherd grieves. Desperate men, desperate women divided, spreading their wings 'neath falling leaves. Fortune calls. I stepped forth from the shadows to the marketplace. Merchants and thieves, hungry for power, my last deal gone down. She's smelling sweet like the meadows where she was born, on Midsummer's Eve near the tower. The cold-blooded moon, the captain waits above the celebration, sending his thoughts to a beloved maid, whose ebony face is beyond communication. The captain is down, but still believing that his love will be repaid. They shaved her head. She was torn between Jupiter and Apollo. A messenger arrived with a black nightingale. I seen her on the stairs, and I couldn't help but follow her down past the fountain where they lifted her veil. I stumbled to my feet. I rode past destruction in the ditches, with the stitches still mending beneath a heart-shaped tattoo. Renegade priests and treacherous young witches were handing out the flowers that I'd given to you. The palace of mirrors where dog soldiers are reflected. The endless road and the wailing of chimes. The empty rooms where her memory is protected, where the angels' voices whisper to the souls of previous times. She wakes him up. 48 hours later the sun is breaking. Near broken chains, mountain laurel and rolling rocks. She's begging to know what measures he now will be taking. He's pulling her down and she's clutching on to his long golden locks. Gentlemen, he said, I don't need your organization. I've shined your shoes, I've moved your mountains and marked your cards. But Eden is burning. Either get ready for elimination or else your hearts must have the courage for the changing of the guards. Peace will come with tranquility and splendor on the wheels of fire, but will offer no reward when her false idols fall, and cruel death surrenders with its pale ghost retreating between the king and the queen of swords. Now, what does that mean? What does that mean? Okay, I'm going to just give a couple clues as to what I think is going on. And this is on a scale of difficulty that's pretty high up there. Anyway, where the good shepherd grieves. Okay, third line. Where the good shepherd grieves. So the good shepherd is generally the good shepherd is like an expression for Jesus. Okay, so right off the bat, we might be talking about Jesus. Okay, so let's see where this goes. I want to go down to. I'm going to skip all the way down to she wakes him up. 48 hours later the sun is breaking. Near broken chains, mountain laurel and rolling rocks. Okay, let's go. Rolling rocks. What are we talking about? Let's go to Luke 24:2. Okay. I'll start with 24:1. Now upon the first day of the week, very early in the morning, they came into They came unto the sepulcher, bringing the spices which they had prepared, and certain others with them. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulcher. Okay, so I think that's what they're talking about. The rolling rocks, right? The rolling rock. Okay? 24:2. They found the stone rolled away. Yeah. There's a famous band by the name of the Rolling Stones. Have you ever heard of them? Okay. So what's going on? She's begging to know what measures he now will be taking. He's pulling her down and she's clutching on to his long golden locks. Gentlemen, he said, I don't need your organization. I've shined your shoes. I've moved your mountains and marked your cards. Okay, so here's a clue what's going on. I shined your shoes. Now, if we're talking about Jesus, what does this mean, I've shined your shoes? I'd say that's a metaphor for I've washed your feet. Okay? Okay, so that's that. Now, I've moved your mountains and marked your cards. When I see this marked your cards, what comes to my mind is it's almost like you remember Jesus saying to Peter, before the cock crows, you're going to deny me. You know, deny. So it was almost like he marked his. It's a way of way of looking at marked his card. Mark your cards. But Eden is burning. Either get ready for elimination. Or I think it's supposed to be. But Eden is burning. Brace yourself for elimination. It doesn't have that here, but that's, I think, what it's supposed to be. Brace yourself for elimination, or else your hearts must have the courage for the changing of the guards. So what does that mean? It seems to me it means your hearts must have the courage for the changing of the guards. It seems to be your hearts must have the courage to accept Jesus. That's what I'm getting. Peace will come with tranquility and splendor on the wheels of fire, but will offer no reward when her false idols fall, and cruel death surrenders with its pale ghost retreating between the king and the queen of swords. So, I mean, this gentleman, he said, I don't need your organization. Gentlemen, I don't need your organization. I've shined your shoes, I've moved your mountains and marked your cards. I mean, to me that sounds like Jesus speaking in the first person. But Eden is burning. Either brace yourself for elimination, or your hearts must have the courage for the changing of the guards. So just a couple clues. It's this is over my head too. I can't say that I understand this, but I can just maybe, touch on a couple clues as to what might be going on here. The Good Shepherd, that's an obvious reference to Jesus, I'd say. What about this? She wakes him up. 48 hours later, the sun is breaking near broken chains, Mount Laurel, and rolling rocks. So what we seem to be talking there, it seems to be talking about the resurrection. 48 hours later, the sun is breaking near broken chains, like breaking the chains of death, something like that. Mount Laurel and rolling rocks, like the Luke 24:2. And they found the stone rolled away from the sepulcher. Seems to be talking about the resurrection there. She wakes him up. 40 hours later, the sun is breaking. Near broken chains, Mount Laurel, and rolling rocks. She's begging to know what measures he now will be taking. Gentlemen, he said, I don't need your organization. I've shined your shoes, washed your feet. So, tough one. Tough one. Just a couple clues, and I'll move on to a different song. I want to talk about the Monkees. I'm a Believer. In the next one. Well, you know what? I'll even say it even goes back to that. It even go if you think about I'm a Believer, back from way back to the Monkees. I guess that song was written by Neil Diamond, but still, the underlying, and I saw her face. Now I'm a believer. Okay, so you can't get too literal. So and I saw her face. It still has to do with seeing Jesus' face. I think, going back to I'm a Believer from the Monkees. So my point is that a lot of these songs just have Jesus as the underlying theme or underlying subject. All right, good enough for today.